Welcome back to my channel, guys. Oof, I don't even know where to start with this. This is such a gnarly story. Let me start by saying this. I wear white in this video on purpose, okay, intentionally, to somewhat try to purify what we're going to talk about because there's all different levels of mess that we're going to cover in this video. And by the way, I'm fully aware that I'm months late on this news story. Okay, I'm fully aware. What's bizarre is I didn't see any national coverage of this. I heard about this through my friend. Hey, Jason, if you're watching. My friend Jason was like, do you know that this happened? You should cover this on your channel. Once I looked into it, all the news sources are local New York City news or like gay LGBT news outlets. So I'm sort of shocked by that. Let's start there, that this wasn't covered in a bigger way because this seems like kind of a big news item. We have so much to discuss. So let me just dive right into it. So a few months back, like I said, local New York City news outlets, as well as LGBT news outlets like Out Magazine, if you're familiar with Out, or like The Advocate, those kinds of outlets, started reporting that cops are busting cruising spots using the app Sniffies. Well, I shouldn't call it an app, actually. I discussed this previously in another video about Sniffies, but it's not actually an app because Sniffies is too controversial to even show up in the App Store, which is why it's actually a website. You literally can't download it on your phone as like a regular app like grindr because it's that controversial. If you're not familiar with Sniffies, I'm gonna link to a previous video for more information on Sniffies. But Sniffies is like grindr on steroids. That's what I call it, grindr on steroids. Guys look to meet up and to hook up. There's actually like cruising spots, and so cops have been using Sniffies to track down a cruising spot, a popular cruising spot, which is apparently in the men's bathroom of Penn Station. If you're not familiar with Penn Station is a big train station in New York City. Listen, I've been to Penn Station a million times, and I've unfortunately been to the bathroom. There is nothing fabulous, there is nothing sophisticated about a New York City train station bathroom. So that's the first thing we have to dissect here. Like, who is fooling around in the bathroom at Penn Station? I can understand if you have like a kink for bathroom stuff at like a nice hotel, at a nice hotel, or like in your own bathroom, I guess, if you have a decent bathroom. But like uh, Penn Station, it's like airport bathrooms. Like there's certain public bathrooms that you just like, I'd rather avoid. And men watching this, you know that places like Penn Station, let's say at least 50% of men walk out without even washing their hands, which is that is a whole other video topic that makes me cringe. I'm shocked by how many people don't wash their hands coming out of the bathroom. I don't care what you touch, what you didn't touch. Just wash your hands, bro. And not to kink shame, okay? Kink shaming is not cool. To each his own, right? I just can't believe that out of all the cruising spots, I mean, whatever happened to a park? You know what I mean? Whatever happened to walking down the street at 2 a.m. and locking eyes? But anyway, I digress. So it would seem that on Sniffies, this, I don't know if it's just one specific bathroom in Penn Station. I don't know if it's all of them, but turns out showing up on Sniffies as a cruising spot, and cops have been raiding this spot. According to this article, which I will link in the video's description box and in the comments, allegedly over 200 men have been arrested as part of this raid of this cruising spot, this bathroom in Penn Station in New York City. And out of those 200 arrests, apparently about 20, or at least 20, have been linked to ICE. So those men were detained by ICE. So this is like a real crackdown. Now, am I the only one who's distraught by this? Now, listen, public indecency is technically a crime. Like male, female, gay, straight, whatever, public indecency or public lewdness, whatever, lewd conduct, that's the phrase, right? These are punishable. But I'm also wondering what constitutes as cruising. Like, how do they know unless they see something going down, right? How do they know what is part of this inappropriate criminal behavior? I don't know about you, but I get pee shy at urinals if there's no partition. I'm one of those people. I get pee shy. So if you have like a nervous energy at the urinal, are you suddenly more likely to be thought to be cruising? Like, how does this work? Like, how do they assess who is there to cruise? Is it just you look at a guy for more than 5 seconds? Maybe you thought you recognized your coworker at the urinal. Who knows? Now, I'm being flippant about this, of course, to try to bring some levity to it. But in all seriousness, I find this very concerning because it just feels like a crackdown on gay people, on gay men specifically. In the article, there's a guy who says he was arrested and he claims he was just innocently peeing at a urinal and that these cops assumed that he was there to cruise. And by the way, let's just assume that somebody is there cruising and they didn't even know about Sniffies, or maybe they did know about Sniffies. Just because a guy is making eye contact with another guy and they're down to hook up doesn't mean they're going to do it right there in the middle of the bathroom, right? Like, at what point are we antagonizing two people, or two men in this case, two gay men, flirting and having like you know a sexual energy emanating from them without actually doing anything sexual? So this is all kinds of controversial, and obviously local news outlets, and some local politicians too, obviously a lot of lgbt representatives of, like, all those associations like GLAD and so on, are raising red flags like, this is a problem. Feels very reminiscent of the Stonewall riots and McCarthyism, this sort of crackdown on people's behavior and the secrets that people hold behind closed doors. So I'm shocked that this hasn't been discussed more openly, more vocally, that I only heard about this through a friend. Had you heard about this? These raids in New York City at the Penn Station bathroom? Maybe I live under a rock, but nobody told me other than my one friend who lives in New York City, by the way. So again, this feels like a very local story. And also, out of all places, this is New York City. New York City is one of the most gay-friendly places in the world. New York City is such a melting pot that it's one of the few places in the US actually where I feel like typically they just leave gay people alone. So this is extremely concerning. And I find it so ironic that I just came back from my travels to Turkey, Morocco, and Portugal. And in Morocco, it is technically punishable by law. You can be punished for being gay, for doing gay things. And you do hear about how in Morocco and in countries like Morocco, also Egypt, that cops will use apps like Grindr to trap men and take them away in handcuffs. So I just find it so ironic that in the comment section of my recent videos had a lot of people virtue signaling, saying, oh my God, how could you go there? They don't respect gay people. It is so stupid and dangerous to use these apps where cops can find you, and blah, 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 blah. And look at that. In your own backyard, they're doing the same thing. They don't like you anywhere, boo-boo. Whether you're a cruiser or not, again, public bathrooms, I avoid at all costs, even if I, even for urination purposes, okay, I avoid public bathrooms. But this is concerning to me because this is telling me that now in the US, cops are using gay men's apps, gay men's platforms to find ways to punish them, to criminalize their behavior. This is concerning. You should be concerned about this too. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll catch you guys next time.